So my rideshare friends, I'm going to show you what we're going to do with $1,000 and what we're going to do with $8,000. There's $8,000 in here. There's $4,000 in the one, cash, and another $4,000 in the other one, cash. Okay, $9,000. What do I do with this? I take this to an auction, right? Just follow me here. Why do I go to an auction? Why do I sometimes take Uber drivers from LA to an auction and show them how it's done? Because I'm more than willing to share my formula, okay? I look for dealership auctions and I look for public auctions. By the way, public auctions you and I can attend. Dealership auctions, only people with dealer licenses like myself or other dealers can go, and it's rapid. They're buying cars, they have a lot of stats, and it's just the cars just fly off the shelves. Now, the one thing you cannot bank on are these rental companies anymore. Okay, gone is this whole enterprise deal. My guess is they've got a brand new car, they're putting a driver in there, right? They are charging probably in and around $160 to $200 per week. These drivers are putting insane miles on these vehicles, right? Crazy miles. Then you might have a couple of cigarette burns in the back, and you know what? Several months later, this car is burnt out. It's worthless. And what is the rental company really getting in return? Right? They want people renting a car here or there that are not putting much wear and tear on it. So there are no profits in this rideshare business for enterprise. I'm very, very surprised that Hertz is still around. So one of the options is, if you don't have this minimum of $1,000, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this $1,000. If you don't have that, and I'm judging no one here, because you can come from a different income group, you could come from a different credit score, you could have gone through a divorce, you could have lost your company. I'm not judging anyone. All I'm trying to do is help every single scenario. If you have the money, if you have that insane credit, is it good to go out there and buy a brand new car for $30,000, $40,000 to drive with UberX? Is it worthwhile buying an SUV for $40,000, $50,000 to $80,000 for an Escalade to drive an SUV? No. I'm definitely not encouraging anyone to go out and buy a brand new car. I'm not encouraging you to go out and get involved in some lease dealership program where you're going to be hit with an insane fee based on your mileage. I'm trying to show you a formula where you can go in and get a car, whether it's a 2005, 2007, 2010 model, for very, very, very little money. And when I say very little money, let me just explain here what I do. Let me just explain what I do, right? I'll go to an auction. That's the auction here. Now, you're not allowed to film at an auction. They shut me down very, very quickly. As you can see, I'm trying to really hide the camera from them, right? I'm screening around. There's a lot of cars, a lot of people, there's a lot of bidding going on. This is what's called a public auction. So what I want to show you is that I'll go to a police auction where they basically towed cars in, right, off the road. In this case, this guy, I know him personally, he's got the contract for LAX, for the airport, right? So if somebody leaves the car in the airport parking lot, right by the airport, flies out, let's say doesn't have their visa work or their paperwork ready to come back into the United States, to come back into California or LA, that car is towed, right? Now that is a car, a perfectly functioning car that drove to the airport, was put in the garage, right? Person flew out, couldn't come back in, car was confiscated, and you know all that's wrong with that car? The battery is dead, right? So they'll fire up the battery on that particular day, right? And you can check the cars. There's a long, long, long list of cars. Now here I'm just going to pick a car, 2009 Toyota Camry, right? This particular one, about 80,000 miles on the clock. What do you think this car went for? Well, remember I told you I take my $1,000 and I take my $8,000. I put them in both my, my jeans pockets, right? And I'm ready to fire off bids on cars of this nature. Why? Because as long as this car is clean on the outside, clean on the inside, which it was, right? It is a car worthwhile bidding on. Right now, I can go and buy a car at a dealership. I'm going to pay a hugely inflated price. I can go and buy a car directly from the public on Craigslist. On Craigslist, you will see by owners or by dealers or dealers and owners, and you will see that the pricing of this particular guy will vary. You can Google this particular car with mileage and see what they were going for, right? So I will look at a few stats. But I'm not prepared to pay the dealer price. I'm not prepared to pay the public price. I want this car for cents on the dollar, right? So I just got to be patient, got to have my money there in hand. And this sucker went for about $3,000, okay? And sometimes it'll boil down to me and someone else in a little bit of a bidding war. I got to realize when I walk away. Done. Let him have the car. There comes a threshold, and I teach that threshold to people where you stop buying. You know, especially on Suburbans or Lux cars or X cars or XLs, there's a threshold, a boundary that you've got to set yourself, and you can't get emotional and you can't get into a bidding fight, right? Because then the price goes up and up and up. You pull out, let him have the car. Now, I will be making a video soon of a dear friend that I met in LA. I taught him all the ins and outs about X. We had several meetings, great guy. He's an actor in LA. Him and his wife just got back from Europe, and they said, Torsten, we need a car, right? So we went down to the auction. It boiled down to 2 or 3 cars on that particular day. We had the money. We didn't pull the trigger because the cars went for too much. Then took my friend Kevin, who's going to elaborate in another video. I took him down to a very dear friend who buys aggressively at the dealerships, and he's hooked up there with a Hyundai, I think a hybrid he got for a very, very good price. He'll share his experience, but I like doing that, not just for myself buying cars, either flipping them or leasing them out at good prices, but I love helping people. I meet people at these auctions in LA, you know, and I know all the guys, I know the owner, I know which cars were left at LAX. I know how to play the game. And when you know how to play the game, you're going to get that car for nothing. There were many, many times, ladies and gentlemen, I walked out with an Uber X car for $1,000 or got one for a good friend. And now imagine you've got a car, even if it has 100 or 120,000 miles on it, right? And it still has 3 or 4 years within Uber X, right? Clean on the inside, clean on the outside. You make sure it's sparkling clean, smells fresh, and you go and hammer that car for 3 years. What did you pay for that car? You paid $1,000 to $1,500, right? VW Jettas, small little Honda Civics, you name it, you could pick them up there. VW Beetles, Golf GTIs. I mean, bought them all, bought them for friends, and I tell you what, when they put hours on that car versus that rental car that's costing them $800 to $1,000 a month in 1 month, that's what I'm spending on an entire car at one auction, right? And now they can hammer it for 3 years. They can build up enough cash that they can put aside, and suddenly they've got that $8,000, right? Here it is, 8 grand in these two. And now we go back to the auction. Let's go to a dealer auction and let's buy a nice hybrid, something that only has 50,000 miles. Let's drop $8,000 to $10,000 on a great, great car that you could walk out and sell for 15 to 20 the very next day. Now that's when you're making money, my friends. So the bottom line is, I don't encourage anyone to go out and buy a brand new car. For example, the difference between a brand new Escalade and a brand new Suburban, unless you own a limo company, it may be worth buying the Escalade, but it's not worth buying a brand new Escalade for SUV. It just doesn't make sense. You're not going to make CENTS, and it doesn't make SENSE sense, my friends, right? So you want to find out hey, what is the going price on that X vehicle, on that Toyota Sienna, on that Honda Odyssey, on that Mercedes Metris XL minivan, or that 3 to 5 BMW, or that Hyundai, or that Kia. What is the going price at the dealer, to the public, and at the auction? Now, if you have any questions, really, if you step forward and say, hey Torsten, you text or call me and say, Torsten, I want to go out and get a car, I just want to do it the right way. This is how much money I have. So again, no judgment. I respect everybody's wallet, everybody's purse, what's inside there. And let's work with that money and get you the maximum, right? So that you can get in the car and turn that into actual real earnings, that commodity, that business investment you've just made, that car, right? Now, I can totally understand if you're a family of 4 or 5 and you were thinking of buying a brand new minivan or a new one, yeah, go and spend top dollars because you have the credit and you can use that for family purpose, and at night, hubby or wife can drive the XL for 2 or 3 hours and make some extra income. So always share your scenario with me. I ask a lot of questions. I'll ask, hey, what's your credit score? What do you have to spend? You know, how many hours do you intend on driving? Are you driving on 1 or 2 platforms? When you start doing the math and come from a place of honesty and share those numbers, and again, zero judgment from my side. I just want to work with whoever I can, whatever scenario they're in. And there is no better person than Kevin, and I can't wait for his video because he shot it already and we're going to get it live fairly soon. I took him through that entire process and he's happily in the right car now. Did he start renting? Yes. Did he go to auctions? Yes. Did he go to a dealership auction? Yes. Did he go to public auctions? Yes. The guy spent 2 weeks on finding the perfect fit so that he can start making money. I know the video is long. Again, the invite is there. If you need to get yourself in a car, whether you're a student or a mom, or you don't have a car, you have a used car that's not ideal anymore because it might be a 2000 model that's too old, doesn't qualify anymore. You know, depending on city and state, Uber has different demands for make, year, and model to fit into a category. So you have to look at that first, right? Do I meet the criteria of Lyft and Uber with my current vehicle? No, I don't. Okay, what do I do next? What do I have as disposable income? What is my credit score? Again, repeating myself like a damn parrot here, but I truly want you to get the right fit for the right money and make the right money. Don't like hearing the stories, I went out and bought a brand new car, it's just not working out for me, and then they're angry and they're upset, right? There's always a way to make cash, good money in this business. Drive safe.